What's going on, everyone? Kami here. We're going to do another Coach Kami. Today is going to be Mr. A255. He's going to be playing on Buck on Shattered Desert. I don't know if this is ranked. Doesn't have any information. He's just going to say he's insane. This is insane character. So let's see what we got going on here. Not enough to get Bounce House, so that's a bit of a bummer, but we're probably going to be going with Ensnare. You know, I don't know what we're going to go with. I'm not going to speak before this happens. Bulk Up. He's highlighting Bulk Up. He's going Ensnare. Okay, so I have a very specific loadout cards that I really like with Ensnare. Let's see if he gets it. I like the movement speed and I like the net cooldown. Interesting. Hold on a minute. That looked to be, what did he run there? Reduced damage. Okay, so we've got Bully. So the gain 24% life steal against targets that are slowed by the net. That's something I do also run. I do like having the one. I always think it's a good one pointer with Buck to when you hit your recovery, you get ammo back. Like I would take that over momentum every day because one extra shot is like an extra 600 damage. That could be life or death of an opponent you're shooting at. I definitely think with Ensnare, I like to have my right click up as much as possible, and I do like the life leech. This is like I'm going Ensnare, but I'm also going a lot of DR, which is fine. But I would definitely, if you're going with your Ensnare, why not make your loadout be about your Ensnare? This seems like an amazing loadout for bulk up, right? A lot of built-in sustain, but that's just me. So we're going up against a Rom, Strix, Victor, Genos, Pip, and we have ourselves Vora as our flank. Jorgo's going to be flying in the air trying to do some things, so Strix is going to need to be taken out ASAP. You're going to be looking at Strix and the backline. You're going to be a little bit afraid of Genos, because if you're running into the backline and shooting, you want to leap out, and you're going to be stuck not leaping out if you get lifted. It can interrupt your stuff, you know, so it's not great. Good kill. How's it sound to you guys? Now you just pound it into him. You can leap and get behind them. There you go. Pop your right click up as much as possible. 9-second cooldown without the loadout card. Yes, I heavily suggest getting the loadout card. The loadout card to get you reduced ammo. Not so much worth on that. Yeah. So you're gonna die, or not? No cauterize equals Buck's an okay guy, huh? So what I'm suggesting is definitely getting the net cooldown is going to be really helpful for you, because 9 seconds is a long time for your talent that you have. I'd probably just be saving up for another cauterize, honestly. They have a Genos, so once you get cauterize too, everything will feel pretty good. I haven't seen what that Pip is going, but in general, try to always save your movement ability. That's why I love Ensnare and Bulk Up over Bounce House, is because with Bounce House, you're like jumping into the backline to do damage, and if you don't hit it and you don't get the kill, then the cooldown's going to be rough. Okay, I'm good. You look like you were thinking about launching yourself over there, but it's good that you did, because you never know when you're going to need to launch yourself out. Like you're getting shot out by the Strix, you want to immediately jump and then use your Q just to throw that Strix off, because Strix can do so much. This leap was okay because there's not the enemy team there to like punish you, and you had your team with you, so that's fine. That's just ensuring that the Strix got killed. Toxic spray. Do more of those. That leap, not worth it. You are whole. If that Victor happened to be backed up a little bit and was looking at you, you were just dead. You had your movement ability down, and the Victor would have been able to ult you, but he wasn't, so that's good. I would probably suggest as a Buck here to go on the right side, right? Not just because you're a flank and you want to be flanking, but I like the right side because you can get a little bit closer, where right here, you're going to see, this is a good spot for damage to kind of pick at right now. This is an okay spot to be at while it's pushing up a little bit, but once it gets around this corner, you're going to want to be on the right side. You're not only holding off the right side, but you're also at a closer proximity to shoot people. You can get people as they're coming out of their spawns, so you can dismount them. But here you can see the majority of the times you're fighting people, people are going to be over here on the ramp, they're going to be behind this rock, and you're just a little bit too far. And the amount of commitment you're going to need to do to get to them is just a little bit more than you need to if you're going over on the far right. Be wary of the people around you. You might need to leap out of here like now. Yeah, okay. Be aware of where you're at and where people are at, like respawn timers. I wasn't even looking at your respawn timers, but I could tell around the time that you ulted, I was like, people are respawning right now, and you're probably going to get lit up from behind, and that kind of screwed over your ult a little bit. Good job targeting the Genos, getting the supports out of here. I would stick on that Pip right now. No reason to really look at the Rom. The Rom's not really doing anything. That leap away off of the Saris, when you hear a Saris ult, look to see where that Saris ult is, and then look to capitalize on the fact that the Saris is ulting, right? Focusing on this Rom, like when that Rom split up with that Pip, and the Pip is like with your teammates, there's no reason why you shouldn't just be with your Pip, with your team, killing that Pip. Rom's not going to do anything. Rom tickles you with his shots, right? Not that big of a deal. If he's running away, whatever. If he's running to get his groceries, let him do his thing, right? Dad's got to do what dad's got to do. But that Pip was completely wide open, and now you just like had done no damage to Rom, and you're kind of wasting his time, but the team's not really able to push up right now. Here you can go, if you want to, your team is built up and it looks like they're around the time they need to start healing up. Going around the far left side might actually be a pretty good play here. You can actually go, you saw just for a quick second, back here, you can go all the way over here to the left side. There's a long path you can go and you just start poking from afar. You just need to be careful because around this corner, there's a long straightaway. So if you push up past there into this entranceway, you're just boned. Like if they look at you, you're boned. So you just need to you just want to give them another perspective to look at, to feel pressured that they can't sit on this choke that they're sitting on and fighting in a 1v1, like a choke v choke battle. This is feeling like an Overwatch fight right now. But the great thing about Paladins in comparison to Overwatch is there's a lot of flank routes you can go, and you can make more of a sandwich opportunity to get them to back off and not feel like they can just hold behind a shield in the main one. But it's fine to go this way, but in general, that may have been okay to hold off on your heal there. And there you probably would want to make sure, remember, again, always use your net ASAP. You have lifesteal built into it. That's going to be really beneficial at the beginning fights when Cauterize isn't on the field as much. Would have like borderline stayed in for Cauterize 3. No, it wouldn't have been the play. But yeah, using your net as much as possible, then using your leap to throw off the enemy's aim. Get out, Q, leap away. All right. Your cooldowns are down, so right now there's not much. See, like you did a 130. Like this is what I was talking about. When you're fighting people at this range with Buck, you just hit a headshot at that range. You did 132 damage. It's nothing, Burger, right? It's absolutely trash. So you're not doing much. Maybe you made the Strix back up a little bit, but if you didn't shoot them, then Vora would have been able to get like 3 shots into that Strix before he realized that something was hitting him, and that would have done a lot more damage. So splitting up over on the right side would have been beneficial for you, more beneficial for you, but you need to be very careful when you're flanking, because if you get looked at by more than one person, you need to be able to react quick enough to run away.
30 seconds remaining.
Cue it up. What you could do here, and what I would suggest doing, honestly, is when you hear that Victor ult, you see your team up in front, right? Right now, you heal. There's only the ROM there. I would jiggle peek around there just to play a little dangerously and see if you can get Victor to waste one of his barrages on you and leap back to your team for the heals. You gotta get out of here now. This would be a good time to spam like retreat with your con to give your Ceres. Your Ceres is gonna have enough time to get back in here. Leap, there you go. If your team just stays alive, which your Drogoz did not. Probably gonna die here. Ooh, barely get out. Stay near your con for the heals. Use your heals, of course. Push fail. Just try to get as much damage as you can. Leap out so you don't get killed. There you go. Okay, fair enough. I will note too, your sensitivity feels a little high. Every time I mention sensitivity, people are like, what type of sensitivity should I have? There's never like a dedicated, you need to have this sensitivity. But in general, for the general populace, some people may hardcore disagree with me, but slower sensitivity is easier to control. You can have crazy high sensitivity to do 360 flicks. It's awesome, right? But in general, if you have the desk space, you have the arm mobility that you can move with your arm with your mouse, hardcore suggests you lower your sensitivity a little bit. If you don't have the desk space or you just don't want to, that's fine. But in general, the way that I look at it, I know I say in general like 400 times, but I apologize. The way that I look at it is I like to have as high of sensitivity as I can to make things easier so I can navigate the map without having to move my arm just to turn a corner. But I also don't want it so fast that I can't make a minute adjustment, right? Like if I'm aiming at a person, but I'm a little bit off and I just need to move a little bit, and then you move your mouse a little bit and you do this, like it's really, you've got to use fingertip aiming, and that's hard to do. You're not using as much muscles. Whereas if your sensitivity is a little bit lower, you can use more of your muscles and muscle memory becomes a little bit easier to get intact right away. Because like fingertip aiming is just like, it's rough, man. My general rule, I will say that when I do a flick of my mouse, like a pretty good flick, like with my arm, like if I do it like this is a flick, okay? That's a 180. Anything past that, I really don't see the point, because most games like Overwatch, Paladins, Call of Duty, shit like that, if you get jumped on from behind, you're probably dead. Time to kill is way too quick, you're dead. But it is nice to be able to try to do a 180 and survive. And then doing 360 is just all about, you know, all about looking fancy. That make sure when you're going on the flank to watch out for the sand, that slows you down. So here's what happened. You ran around to flank and your entire team killed everyone. You didn't do anything. So here's what I probably would have done. One, don't run into the sand. That's going to slow you down a little bit, right? You're going to be running over here to the right side. Instantly, right now, what you're doing is you're tunnel visioning forward, and that's fine, but you need to look off to the left side. I have no idea what's going on over there. When you flank on one side and you don't see anyone, there are probably two things that are happening. One, they got a trap for you. They're hiding behind corners and they're waiting for you to come around the corner so far where you've dived into, and they're gonna go surprise, and they're gonna kill you. You're just boned there. You're pretty much boned. If they're not, you can actually see the victor over here on the left side. I didn't even see it the first time I ran through. If they're not doing that, which they probably aren't, I just have some PTSD times where we got trolled in some scrims back when I used to play on a team. They're probably on the other side. So going that flank route, if people are in mid and stuff like that, is good. But if everyone's over on the left side, the amount of time it takes for you to go this long route of going in behind is too much. It's too much, and your team is literally 4v5ing them right now. I don't know if maybe they have a flank doing the same thing on the other side, but you need to be a little bit more aware if you're going for a flank route. Look to see where they are, and if they're way on the other side, don't go this long route. Go down the middle, right? You want to get behind them, but if you can go down the middle and get there quicker, that's better. You want to stagger these kills. So this ult was absolutely pointless. So what happened here was you came around and 3 of them are dead, right? It's a 2v4, or it's a 2v5, which is great for your team. What you want to do right now is stagger them. Stagger them means you see how they're respawning? Like Victor's respawning 3, 2, 1, 0. They're alive, right? Victor's alive now. He's respawned. Strix has still got 3 seconds. Rom still has 5 seconds. Your goal is to kill these opponents as slow as possible so that by the time the rest of the people get to the point, the last one is dying, right? You just want to kill them as slow as possible so they have to wait for these people to respawn to be able to group up fully and come in at the point, and hopefully you have the point captured by them. So ulting here to kill things faster was very, very pointless. And just be aware of that. Just know, when do I want to kill things fast and when do I want to kill things slow? This is definitely a kill slow type of situation. And ulting was unnecessary. And ulting when they re-engage is huge. Now, also keep in mind that you can hear them moving right now. They've respawned and they're up there. So using your leap to get up there, there could have been a Rom and there could have been a Strix or a Victor sitting right there, and your movement ability is down and you're facing a 2v1. So be careful with that. Again, use your movement ability for mobility, usually as a get out of jail free card, I guess. And not so much on engaging. There are some times you want to do that. You can kind of watch how you're aiming here. Like watch your aiming. Like, see that jut down at the bottom? Watch when you kind of like go down here. Right there. That could just be you kind of readjusting your aim or readjusting your mouse. And like, since your sensitivity is so fast that any minute movement gets picked up, that it goes down. It could also be like a bad sensor in a mouse. I don't know. But you can see you trying to like readjust. Like, see how you went like from here. Let's do like slow motion real quick. Well, like mute the music or mute the sound because it's a little bit too much. You go left, down, and then right. You go like boom, 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 and then you hit it. It feels very jittery. And again, I don't mind when people have faster sensitivity, but if you can't make minute adjustments and you struggle, you need to lower it or just get better at it. Like, that's pretty much it. You can play at faster sensitivity, but I find it much easier to do with slower sensitivities. If you're struggling on doing it after doing it for a while, then just lower it or get better at it. I know it's a really crappy thing to say, just get better at it, but it is what it is. If you just recently I know a lot of people who just recently started playing on the PC from the console, and if that's the case, just keep practicing. I don't know what's up with that. It takes time, dude. I've been playing PC first-person shooters for years, 10, 12 years plus. 14, 13? So it all comes with time. I get that leap. Oh, if you get lifted here, you're boned. You're probably not going to get out of there alive. Okay, so here's another thing too. I don't know exactly what MMR you are, but there are things. Back when I used to play on a team, I was playing up with like the best, like really good people, right? And I was like, I didn't need to do. I couldn't make mistakes. I couldn't make mistakes. That thing you did right there, where you leaped in, like this, and there were 2 people here. They were pretty low. I mean, like, you had a decent chance if you had a headshot on that pip to get him down to the ASAP, but the Genos could have lifted you, the pip could have unloaded on you, he could have waitlist away, he maybe had a heal up, he's got a Genos mark on you, you should be dead here. But you didn't get punished for it. And the issue with playing with lower level people or lower MMR people is you get away with shit you shouldn't get away with, and then it gives your brain this idea that like, this is fine. This is okay to do this. Like I was saying back when I used to scrim a lot, is I learned a lot of like tendencies of playing passively and doing all this fun stuff. And then when I started playing pubs for a while, I noticed if I just played passively, my whole team just died. And it sucked, right? Because I did nothing and my team just died. And I would want to yell at them, team, quit dying so fast, just play like a good person, but that doesn't really help at all. So I learned to be more aggressive. And then the more I played pubs, the more aggressive I played. And I did it for a while. I did it for months. And then I went back into scrimming and I died. I got punished. It was a slap in the face that says the play styles that you have learned through pubbing is not applicable into these scrims. So you can play aggressive if you want big kill streaks and you want cool montage frags and stuff like that. The only way to get those is to go for them, right? But in general, again, stick with the leaping when you need to get out, and be aware of where people could be, because if you're leaping in here like that, you knew there's at least one person there. There's probably a good chance there's another person here, and there is, and you should have died here, but you didn't. Like, I don't know where that Genos went. The Genos should have lifted you and like was shooting at you and stuff. There's a 2v1. That sucks that Leap kind of like caught it or whatever. There, you get a cop free heal. That's good. Good headshot too. Hey, tradesies. Let's see what items you went with. Oh, actually, you went with Haven, and then you went with Cauterize and Haven. Yeah, that seems legit. The other thing I would have went with, and this is going to be a completely biased and probably incorrect thing to say, I love Deft Hands on Buck. I love it so much. I know Deft Hands on Saris is like, I have an idea of what your MMR is. Deft Hands on a Drogos isn't the worst thing in the world, but like still meh. And Life, no Cauterize on, where's the Cauterize on your team, bro? I'm glad that you're here to save the day. Jeez. But Deft Hands on Buck feels a lot more amazing than other people, because he only has like, what, 6 shots in his clip, right? Every shot is like 800 damage. That's a lot of damage. And like, that's why I like the loadout card that gives you 1 extra ammo. That's why I like the loadout card that gives you that extra ammo, because that ammo could be the difference between life and death. I mean, 800 damage is like a third of a lot of people's lives. That Strix I would have jumped on immediately. Illuminate something, another thing you could pick up. Resilience is another thing you can pick up, but Illuminate would help you out with the Strix, and then Resilience will help you out with the Genos lifts plus the Pip. I don't know if you just didn't see that Strix, or maybe you thought he died. Did he die? I don't think he died. Why did I skip Farce? So you heard that shot, and then he went invisible. And you just ignored him. You definitely want to deal with that Strix. This is diving in deep again, and now you're just going to have a real struggle time. You'll probably not be able to get out for free. You shouldn't get out. Okay. I was like, man, if you get out, this game is teaching you, is not punishing things that should be punished. But I mean, in general, you went for a support, so that's good, right? But it's like, no, the positioning wasn't great, and there was an equally as good target, the Strix, that was nearby. Leaping on the Strix is good. Actually shooting him, killing him, doing a 180 and leaping on the Strix, good. Yes, very good. I mean, not the leap, but like the ult and then the quick going for it. Okay, so here's another thing too. This was good. The Genos was also low, but you need to put pressure on the Strix, because the Strix is back there shooting for free, and that's your job, is to get the Strix distracted, right? The leap attempt, I'm not gonna say that I do any better, honestly, but then the ult, the idea of leaping into an ult, very, very good. I love it. Here's where you screwed up. You said, oh crap, I can't shoot the Strix. I'm just gonna shoot the other people. It's like, okay, cool. You turn around, you heal, which I don't think the heal was actually necessary. I don't think you ever got shot, but maybe you just assumed you got shot. And then you want to shoot this Pip, right? The Pip is low. Let's shoot the Pip. You need to back up. Because what's happening is when you're running at that Pip, that Strix that you were putting pressure on is no longer having pressure on them. And now you're giving him a nice little bald head to shoot at from the behind with 0 pressure on him. It's okay to turn around and shoot at the other people because you can't do anything. You could maybe do jump shots if you want to put more pressure on them. But just for now, while your net is down, while your leap is down, if you want to turn around and shoot the opponents, that's fine. Keep your back against it. You're going to lose a little bit of damage because you're not close. But right now, that Strix, that damage right there, that boom right there, watch your HP, is because you went out into the open and you just got nailed by the Strix. Here comes probably another shot. And now you're running literally into the opponents. You didn't need to do that. You were behind them and they weren't really shooting at you. So running through them, you just gave up position. You literally just gave up position, and now what you're doing is you're going back around to get the position that you just had, that you gave up for free. Try to watch out for that. There you go. One more? Don't you back up. Be careful. Genos hitbox with his ult is crazy deceiving. I could have hit you if you were standing too close behind him. Here you want to leap to get him to stop shooting at you. You want to leap first because he's applying Cauterize to you to get his aim off, and then give you a chance to get Cauterize off. You leap. Okay. You want to leap to try to get that Cauterize off. There, when you saw the ult, you needed to react a little bit quicker to be able to leap away. A Pip ult. Interesting. Now you need to prioritize your target. This one's very easy. Go for the Pip. But you hear the Strix shooting, so your next priority should be the Strix. Don't worry about the ROM. They can heal up and deal with the ROM. You want to kill the DPS in the back first, and then go for the ROM. Leaping back here was bad. You're kind of in it to win it type. You're all in or you're not all in right now. So leaping back, your team is literally 2v5ing right now. So you just needed to go back in. I would have suggested leaping it over to the left side and then getting behind that rock. You have your leap up, leap now. Yeah, try to get the hat. Obviously, you can't hear me. I keep saying the same thing over and over again, but leaping first will give you the opportunity to have cauterize fall off. And if you leap earlier, you can hold off. Like if you wait until you're like 500 HP and then you're like, oh, Kami said leap, then heal. So you leap and you're staring at that little cauterize thing on your screen and then you die. It's like, oh, what the hell, Kami? I should have just healed. Yes, but you should have leaped like 750 HP earlier. You want to give yourself enough buffer for the opportunity for cauterize to fall off before you die. Okay, so again, if you're flanking and you don't see anybody, you want to try to look over to the left, see where they're at. If they're all over there, then just cut through and get them, man. Especially listen for your teammates. If your teammates are fighting, they need help. So it means flank faster. Perfect. Back up a little bit, go for the Victor next. Nice. That's fine. Yep, good. Leap up. Oh, you keep getting caught on the silliest things. This is good. This is very good. Strix is behind you. I don't know if you play with audio, but yeah, I don't know if you play with audio, but audio is a big thing in this game, obviously. You heard the Strix just go invisible behind you. That was a good headshot on the pip. Another headshot, nice-oo. Look to dismount them running in. You can hear them running to the left. You want to dismount them ASAP. When you're zoning, zoning means like once you've captured the point and you're trying to get them to not come to the point. It's when you want to zone an area. You want to get up and say, hey, this is our zone, you can't pass. Like how you're doing right here, right? You're getting up there, you're zoning. Your number one goal is to dismount. You should be jumping around there, making sure and just pre-firing everything just to get them off their mount. Because that is, honestly, in Paladins, 80% of the zoning comes from just getting them off their damn mount ASAP. Because they can do so much more on their mount, especially if they have master rating. Not bad, man. Not bad at all. I don't know if it has stats at the end. It doesn't. That's fine. So overall, your item choices were fine. I would say mess around with deft hands. Again, that might be the wrong thing to say. I think Haven was good because the other team was majoritarily Haven, and that the cauterize was good, obviously, because cauterize is mandatory in this game called Paladins. But I would suggest looking up into deft hands. Resilience would have been good there too because it stops the pip ult. You can only cut it down to 50%. Level 2 is normally about where you get, you're not going to get any diminishing returns from going into level 2, but you will get some in level 3, but there is also a Genos lift, which could also hurt you. Talent choice, I like Ensnare, but I would definitely look into your loadout and get reduced cooldown on your net. And with your playstyle, I think your ults were relatively okay. Just look to make sure that you're ulting when you need to burst someone down. I really like it at the beginning of the fight. Try not to use it. You never really used it when there's too many people around. That's something I do kind of sometimes where I go for a good flank and they all look at me and then I ult and it's like, good luck, Kami, 5v1, and you have no damage reduction. You just shoot really fast. You look like an idiot. We're all used to Kami ults. Yeah, try to use it when not a lot of people are looking at you, but at the same time, make sure you're using it when you need it. When the whole other team is dead, 3 of them are dead and there's just 2 left, don't ult there, okay? Stagger them. Take your time. And then as for your positioning when going in on the plays, just be aware that if you're flanking and you don't see anyone in your near vicinity, kind of how you're running over on the right side, immediately look over to the left, use your ears, and listen to see how much fighting is going on. If you hear a lot of explosions going on the left side, that means the whole other team rushed that side, and you need to get over there and sandwich them as fast as possible. That's the risk of flanking, is if you flank and you don't flank fast enough, your whole team is fighting a 4v5. But if you flank too fast and you don't pay attention to your surroundings, then you're going to run into the entire team by yourself and you're going to die. So flanking's kind of hard, but you'll get the hang of it the more and more you play. And that's about it for Mr. A225. Again, I don't know what rank he was, but that was a buck. That was pretty good. I liked it. There's a decent amount of things to point out that were good and a decent amount of things to point out that I think you could improve on. Remember, if you want to do your own Coach Kami, be a sub on Twitch, be a patron, and or be a member on YouTube. Link your appropriate thingy that you have, whether it be YouTube, Patreon, or Twitch, onto your Discord. Join my Discord. Links are always down in the description, and you can get yourself a fancy new role on my server that gives you access to secret channels, and one of them is called Coach Kami Submission. But for now, I'm gonna head out of here. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for watching. I'm not gonna be one of those people who asks you to like and subscribe, so...
I'm not gonna ask.